we're live. YouTube's acting a little crazy right now. Couldn't get on before. All of a sudden it started to work. But I'm glad to be on. My new live will be every Sunday at 8:30 Eastern Time. I'm in Florida, so my lives will begin at 8:30. So hopefully people will show up. People will come to my lives. If you have any computer questions, you want to make any comments, anything computer related we could talk about. I like to teach new people how to fix their computer and how to make it run faster, more safer on the internet. And if you're having any problems, you could either ask in the chat or in the comments, and I'll definitely get back to you. And if I could help you, I'll be more than glad to do so. Some of my lives I'll be doing on my computer. This one I'm doing on my phone. Some reason it works out easier. It's a little difficult on the phone. I mean, on the regular computer, but I'm going to start doing lives on the computer also. And not only that, I'm going to be doing demonstrations, showing you my computer screen and showing you how to do different things to make your computer faster, to make your Wi-Fi faster, to make your programs work better, doing updates and not having problems with the updates. And if you do have a problem with the updates, I can show you how to fix that problem by going in after the updates and then actually removing them. Because sometimes when you do an update, believe it or not, you can have an issue. Your computer doesn't want to act right, or it gets slow, or bogs down, or something. So, yeah, I'm going to be teaching a lot of different things. So I hope we get a lot of people in. And when I started my channel a couple of years back, yeah, I still have the same messages as I did when I started. And that's what I want to do is help people have a better computer experience. And in that, what I mean is, so you can teach you how to take care of your computer yourself. When things go wrong, you don't always have to run to a shop, pay a lot of money, or try to do things that you're not sure of, and be kind of like a guide for new people or intermediate people. So, I have a lot of moderators that are very schooled in computers also, so they could also help, if you have a problem. So this is a good channel for an outlet for people with their computer issues. Um, and a little background is I have a small business here in Florida, and I've been helping people with their computers. So I have a little computer repair business. And, along the way, you may have questions on different things that are bothering you. And, I get people that spill water on their computer and liquid on their computer, to your laptop's not charging, or there's something going on, my laptop's getting too hot, um, all kinds of different issues that I cover. So, yeah, and the live streams are also an open forum for you to, just get those things off your chest, whatever it is that you need to deal with. You can always come to the live stream, and it'll be like a place where you could, you can get answers. Hey, Too Tall Rob. Oh, thanks, man. Wow. Well, if you want to send it to me, I will work on it for you. I'll get it running again. If there's any life left into it, just box it up and send it to me. And I can give you my address in the description if you want to do that. Sorry to hear that. I mostly deal with a lot of laptops. A lot of my customers have laptop issues. And I do sell laptops too, so if you're looking for a second-hand laptop for, under 200, yeah, my phone number is still active. I got one here that just needs a battery and it works good plugged in for 150 bucks. You can buy it, you know what I mean? So either I fix a computer for somebody and if it's not worth fixing, I usually sell a computer. I usually have a couple computers for sale all the time. So yeah, you got my phone number, call me during the day and, let's chat about it. But I'm glad you're still able to get on, whether it's your phone or a desktop. And yeah, a lot of people call me during the week, issues with desktops not working or their laptop. Okay, if I can, I will. I got a couple things to do after that. If I don't get back to you, I'll definitely get to you in the morning. But okay, sounds good. And you know, like sometimes, like you'll get into a loop. People call me or bring a computer to me, and their computer just starts. It's booting up, but it's not going to Windows. It'll go to a screen, and it'll just keep on restarting and restarting, and it just seems like you can't get out of that. Um, I deal with a lot of those issues. I deal with fans being clogged up and desktop, or even laptop. Mostly laptops will overheat because desktops have better cooling because they have more circulation. Laptops are kind of, built in a box, and there's usually one or maybe two fans. If you have like a high-end laptop, you'll have two fans. But generally, laptops only have one fan, and if that fan stops working right, or just works every once in a while, or stops and goes, your CPU can overheat, and you'll notice your laptop's getting real hot, hotter than normal, and that's because the air is not circulating through it, mostly because, of a fan issue. The fan is either dirty or it's not working, or you don't have enough thermal compounds, and your computer's getting hot. And in those cases, you really have to deal with that issue because you don't want to overheat your CPU, because if you do, you could ruin the whole laptop. Desktops, same issue, but it's a lot easier to work on. Basically you open up the side of a desktop, everything's right there. Um, if you need a new BIOS battery or you need your motherboard reset, I do that. A lot of times that'll get you working again. Or if you have a hard drive problem, a lot of times if your hard drive's still working, I could save your information that's on the hard drive, put a new hard drive in it, and then get all the drivers on there, get your computer running again, and then I can put your information back on so you don't lose it. So that's another thing that that I do a lot of too, is backing up people's data and reinstalling Windows or upgrading from Windows 10. A lot of people want to go to Windows 11, which is a little faster, and that's their choice. I use Windows 10. I do have Windows 11, and okay, yeah, I got your email there. I'll email you when I'm done, or I'll get back to you first thing in the morning. I still have a computer here I got to work on after the live stream. That's why I have a customer that I'm doing stuff for. Sure, gotcha. I will definitely email you my number if you don't have it, and that'll work. Oh, okay. Yeah, I believe I still have your number. I put everything in my book here. I'm sure you're in here. I could probably find it pretty fast. But so Sometimes I can't find it, guys, but I will definitely, email you that. Yeah, I have these little ads that I have too when I go on. If you're, if you have Facebook, you can always add me on Facebook under Mike's Computer Tips. Well, the computer I have now is Lenovo, which is made by IBM. It's an older one. It's an older one, and it just needs a battery. So the batteries are like $30 online. I mean, you can get a battery really cheap, but it works great plugged in. It's got Windows 10. It doesn't have Windows 11. Windows 11, you got to have, something a little faster. But this actually is pretty fast. It's equivalent to an i5. But I tell people, like, if I'm selling a high-end system, I'll let you know it's high end. This computer I'm talking about is very basic. You can go online, you can do all this other stuff, but it's just basic computer use, nothing fancy. Does not have enough memory to run to update. Yeah, the stream is a little limited. I have 8 gigs of memory in this one here, and it's equivalent to an i5. So computer works. It's a decent little system. It's like I said, it's older, but it does work, and it will do enough. It's got Windows 10 with all the updates, and it will do enough for you to get by on the internet until you get something else. It's actually a ThinkPad right here in IBM. Lenovo is the company, but it's made from IBM. So that's the laptop I'm talking about. And, it works good. It comes with a power cord. It does work good. So, yeah, we could talk about it, or I'll text you, I'll email you at that email. I do use PayPal usually. Well, actually, what I like to use is, okay, yeah, I don't have any large HPs. The streams are pretty limited. Most of the screens are like, I have access to a 12-inch stream, and it's a really nice system. That one is like 150. It's a stream, but it's small, and it's got a 12-inch screen, so it's not anything doesn't have a big screen. But this one is like 15-inch screen. So I tell people, you need a basic laptop. That's usually what I sell, to people. But yeah, so getting back to like doing maintenance on your desktops, if you have a big tower, every once in a while, make sure you go in there and vacuum the fans. Make sure everything is clean inside. You don't want your computer to get real hot. So periodically, now it depends. It's just like a person-to-person issue, case by case, because if you're a smoker, or if you have a lot of dust in your house, you have to do it more often, because you can get a lot of dust in there. I got a friend of mine surfing for a local for a computer she found. Okay, well, hey, if that works for you. Yeah, you definitely gotta, keep an eye. I know filters are pretty good too on computers. Have filters, clean it, pull that out and clean that periodically. And also, dust still gets into the computer, so keep an eye on that definitely for a desktop. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Fabric softener. Okay. Well, as long as the air has a way to escape, you're okay, you know. But most of the time, you still have to have that, open so air can come in and out, you know. I don't know if that's fabric softener. Make sure it's not going to clog up the air from coming out. As long as it's got vents in it, you should be okay. As far as everything, keeping it nice and cool. Laptops are, more susceptible to heat than desktops are. But desktops, can get hot. It depends on, like I said, how you do the maintenance and where you have it. If you're going to have it on the floor, make sure you have like a piece of wood lifted off the ground. That way you'll have some circulation, air circulating through the bottom, and you won't pick up as much dust. I always recommend, and what I do is I keep my desktops right on right on my bench. I don't put them on the floor anymore because you'll get more dust that way. I keep my desktops on my bench, and sometimes even with the side open. But I make sure I do the maintenance on them and I keep those running good. Yeah, that sounds good. That's good for you. As long as you can keep the fans clean and the laptop running cool, then you should be okay. The rest will be software issues, you know. I'm sorry I don't have a laptop that will suit you, but maybe you could find one locally where you live. And like I said, if you want to get yours working again, let me know. So, yeah. And I noticed like lately a lot of people come and watch my lives on the replay, and that's okay too. I'm going to put more notice for my lives up because I've only done like a couple hour notice. From now on, I think I'm going to start putting like a week's notice after my live streams, and I'm going to put on a notification for my next week's live stream. That way, maybe more people will get to see it. Hey, Crafton, how's it going? Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Ruji Crafton, we have Too Tall Rob. Make sure you guys check each other out after the live stream. So, like I said, if anybody has any computer related questions they want to ask, or you need help with anything with your computer, I'm always available. I might not be able to get to your issue right away, but you can always leave me a comment and I will get to it as soon as I can. I do run a computer repair business, so I'm kind of busy sometimes running around and stuff like that, working on computers. I also do mobile service where I'm at businesses and I'm on people's homes a lot. With the HP, would not upload the update, so Windows get the memory space when I restart. Start because Windows uploads something. Need to reinstall. Hmm. Yeah, that sounds kind of weird. Well, another thing you have to do with updates, and I always tell people that before you do an update, click on it and see what the update is. There's important updates, and there's updates that are not so important. And there's two different columns for that. If it's something that's relevant to the operating system, that's going to make it work better, I would say, update it. But if it's just something that's not very important, you could leave it out. The problem a lot of people do is they'll leave their computer for automatic update, and you can't filter out what updates you want and what updates you need. Yeah, Windows Stream, like I said, is not a very good computer. People are always trying to sell me streams. People want me to fix streams, and you can buy them really cheap on eBay. They're not really a good, reliable system for you know daily use. They're very proprietary, and they don't have the capability that a lot of the older laptops have, or the better high-end laptops have. So yeah, streams are not very good. I personally wouldn't put much money into one. I mean, people are trying to sell me their streams for $50 or $75. I mean, I don't want to buy them because I wouldn't want to give my customer a stream and then say, oh, this computer doesn't do this, and don't do that. I'd rather upgrade something worthwhile. Put in a good SSD or an M.2 hard drive to make it run faster, and then I jack up the memory, and then I install Windows and the necessary programs. It really depends on your software too, not just your hardware. Your software is important also. You don't want to bog your system down with programs that won't run. It's like having you know, a Ferrari, and with a cheap engine. It's just not going to perform. You got to have that high performance engine with the high performance car. So software and hardware go hand in hand. You need a computer that will run at least 8 gigs or 16 gigs of memory. If it's a gaming system, I would go for even 32. And also, oh yeah, kind of like a 6 cylinder. You got that right. Or another thing I say is like driving the car with your emergency brake on. You just really can't do too much. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to have a good amount of memory. You got to have a decent SSD hard drive or an NVMe hard drive that's fast. In order to work, and your processor, which is equally as important. You want to have an i3, i5, i7, or i9 CPU. When it comes to Intel, if you're going to AMD, you still want to have a decent CPU. I tell people stay away from Celeron with Intel because Celerons don't address that much, and they're not very high end. So you may see, when you see a laptop that has a very cheap price, usually it's a Celeron. Even if it's a faster Celeron or a newer Celeron, it's not going to address that good. Hey, Isabel, how's it going? Glad you're here tonight. Good to see you. I did have the notification on. I'm going to put it on a week in advance from now on. But I'm glad. I'm glad you're here as always. Right. See, take it from Isabel. She knows. Celeron is another way to get people in these big box stores saying, "Oh man, this computer's pretty cheap. I'm going to buy it." And I get called to people's houses all the time, and even small businesses. And you believe, a multi-million-dollar business, people are buying like low-end crap. Okay, talk to you later, Rob. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. And I always tell the people you need a better system. And if your system's worthwhile, then I will. If you want, I'll upgrade it for you. Put in more memory, put in a better hard drive, and everything else. But you got to start out with something decent. You can't take a system that's really slow and that has very little upgradability and put money into it. Yeah, I hear you. Um, I tend to use a lot of the older systems because they're more reliable. Some of the newer ones are okay, but as far as like a good laptop would be like MSI, Asus, or very good laptops, even HP. As long as you have a good CPU, a good hard drive, enough memory, all that good stuff, a good video card. Some of these high-end laptops have decent video cards. Yeah. Well, a lot of people will put a big block Chevy in a Vega, and that will run good at the track. But you don't want to. I always tell people, there's a fine line, of investing in your computer. If it's worthwhile to upgrade, then and it's worth it for the money to upgrade. Because then you got to think about it. Um, if I upgrade my computer, how much is it going to cost? And then the second option is, if I buy a new computer, is it worth me? Is it worth it for me to get another computer, or is it worth it for me to upgrade my computer? And I always go by what I'm working with. You know, and basically it all comes down to the same things. Processor speed. The amount of memory is important, but it's not as important as the hard drive, a good solid state hard drive, and the type of video you have. If you're going to do like video editing or gaming, then you're going to need a more high end laptop or a more high end gaming system, desktop. So it really depends on what your needs are. And that goes for backups also. If you're running a big business and you have 10 employees or 50 employees, you got to make sure you're doing backups, because if you don't do backups and you don't do them properly, your company could be in a lot of trouble. So you got to do the backups. And make sure all your information is safe offline, just in case you have a catastrophe. Your computer stops working, or when your hard drive goes out, or anything can happen. So very important. Another thing is also backing up your system. I've told this story a couple times. I have companies that are $1 million companies that call me, and they don't do the proper backups, and I tell them you need to do better. Now you have online services that will back up your computer for a low money. It's not even that expensive, and it's well worth it. Oh, okay. Yeah, the phone games are a lot easier to play. You don't need a lot of resources for that. That's different. I play poker on my phone. That's my favorite game. I have Texas Hold'em. I've been playing that for years, and I have a game on my phone that I play, and I have a lot of fun with that. But if you're gonna run video games, and I can tell you, a recent story. A customer brought me a MacBook, Apple, and basically I don't care much for Apples, but I do work on them. I do have a couple of technicians that work with me, and they will work on Apples for me and or with me. And sometimes, if you have too many video programs on there, you'll run your battery faster, because the battery, is using a lot of juice to run your video programs. And if you have a lot of these programs on your computer and you're doing 2 or 3 different things at once, sure enough, your battery's going to go down faster. You might have a battery issue, but even with a good battery, And running too many different things is going to bring things down. So I tell people that all the time. And when they bring me a MacBook, um, the case is the same. Um, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. People think the more money you spend on a computer, the better it's going to be. That's not always the case. You know, you are going for the brand name like MSI, Asus, and that's spelled ASUS, and those are top end computers. So if you have an MSI laptop or an MSI desktop, you basically have top of the line. Toshiba's good. I do like Lenovo, which is made by IBM, and they are very reliable. I mean, you see a lot of old Lenovo's still out there that people use, and they're very reliable. So I just did a video not too last week on my picks for the best computers, the best companies, and if you watch some of my shorts, you'll see that video. And I tell you about some of these companies. If you're looking for performance, you're looking for reliability, you know, Toshiba's very good, Asus is very good, MSI. Not saying you'll never have any problems, but these companies make quality performing products. You'll have a really good hard drive, you'll have enough memory, and their products are made with better components. People still don't understand that when you buy a computer off the shelf like Dell or HP, I mean, Dell doesn't make computer parts, HP doesn't make computer parts. All these different companies that make the parts are all put into these machines, and they just put their name on it. So you got to know what you're getting. You have to look at the specs. When you go into a computer shop or a computer store or any kind of store to buy a computer, you have to know basically, what are my needs, and then you have to get something that will meet those needs. If you're looking for, something, you want something that's reliable, you want something that's quality, and doesn't mean it's going to cost more. I mean, a lot of them depends what you're getting, but basically your price of the computer is going to rely on what CPU you have. If you have an i5, that's a decent CPU. I would look into that. Yeah, if you could afford something a little more, get an i7, which is decent, and then have like 8 gigs of RAM, which is still decent. Today, with the way the internet is and the programs, the way the applications are written, 8 gigs of memory is pretty much minimal. So every computer should have at least 8 gigs of memory. You should have more, but you shouldn't have any less. So if you have 8 gigs or over, you're good to go. 4 gigs, it just doesn't kick it anymore. 4 gigs, you can't multitask. In other words, don't try printing while you're online, doing something, like looking at your email. I mean, just do one thing at a time. The more memory, the more workspace you get. So if you have 8 gigs, 16, 32, that means you have more room to do several things at once without slowing things down. That's what that does. Memory is your workspace. But like I said, 8 gigs is definitely the minimum now on a laptop or a desktop computer. Oh yeah, if you're not going online, that's a different story. I mean, you can have Linux, you can have 4 gigs of memory. That's good for doing on offline stuff. I mean, on the internet, um, doing things that you got to do, online, downloading, saving things, transferring files, sending email attachments, printing online. All these things take up Windows resources. So you need a system that is going to adequately work with it. I mean, you also still have to do the maintenance to the computer, which is a good, important thing to do. And a lot of people don't do the maintenance, which you should do. But that's the underline, the over, like, you know, just because you have a lot of memory, a lot of speed, a fast computer, that doesn't mean you don't have to do the maintenance anymore. You should still do the maintenance because it will make your operating system run more efficient. So maintenance is very important. Computer specs is important. Maintenance is important too. And the other thing that I said earlier was backups. If you don't put anything important on the computer, you have nothing that you're worried about losing, then you don't have to do any backups. But if you have pictures, videos, you do, Word documents and things like that, and you have all this information on your computer, that should have a backup offline, like with a USB or an external hard drive like this. You should be saving everything to that. If you have a business, you should use a company like Carbon that will save everything offline for you. There's a lot of companies now that do very low price backups. All you got to do is leave your computer on and they'll back it up for you for a small fee. So my three most important things are that: maintenance, having decent specs on your computer, and a method for backing up. Unless you're just using the computer for fun, you don't care. Whatever happens, happens. It crashes, you get it going again. But a business where you keep all the stuff online on your hard drive, make sure you do a backup. It's just so essential. So my live streams will be Sunday at 8:30, and if you haven't made this one, please try to make the next one. And if not, watch this video live stream on replay. And if you have any computer related questions of any kind, send me a message. Send me a message and I will get back to you. So till next time, this is Mike from Mike's Computer Tips. I will see you in the next live stream. Thanks everybody for being here. Take it easy. Bye.